Hello boys and girls, Kai here. Now I know I've been getting a lot of messages and through my DMs and in the comment section about what's going on and how my Airbnbs and my investments doing. And to tell you the truth, some of them are doing better than others, but my key one, this one right behind me, is actually still doing really well. And I want to give you guys a quick update on what's going on because I only invested, if you guys remember, way back when why I decided to make an investment out here in the middle of nowhere that looks kind of like this, if you guys can see that, was because I was trying to do something different than all the other properties that I had and managed inside the city. Do I have something in my teeth? And it's proven to be really fruitful, even though we are in the middle of this pandemic. And I want to give you guys a little bit more insight on that and run through the numbers a little bit so you guys can get a little bit of an idea of what's been going on. And maybe you guys can do it for you too, or kind of copy the idea. But check it out. New siding. Can you see that? Ooh. So coming up here to the house, if you guys remember, it used to be all metal and some wood. It had more of that barn, modern, simple look, very much like a shipping container. I decided that metal is not the best, and for all of you guys out there who are actually doing shipping container homes or want to put metal on the outside because it looks cool, absolutely looks cool. Couple key things. One, it transmits noise like crazy, so everything that's happening outside, you'll hear it. Everything that's happening inside, you'll hear it on the outside. Two, it's a terrible insulator, so no matter the temperature outside, you're gonna feel on the inside. It's just, there's not a lot of material there to stop the heat or the cold from coming in or going out. And so what that means is that your energy bill goes up and you have very uncomfortable summers and very uncomfortable winters. So what I did is I went with James Hardie, like this thick fiber cement. That siding there, shiplap, is actually double the thickness of traditional siding. And then behind that, I added another 2 inches of Roxul rock wool exterior insulation, which gives me another layer of protection. So it gives me more water protection and also gives me more sound, acoustic, proofing, not proofing, but dampening, I guess you could call it. And then obviously it blocks out a lot of the summer heat because on this side, hey kitty, meow meow. So this side back here is the south side, and there is a ton of sun and heat in the summertime. So what we did was we just put metal around the windows. I like the metal, so I'm gonna keep that. And then we put this James Hardie shiplap. It's expensive, but man, the increase in performance that we've seen so far is way worth it. And it increases the value of the property and the home itself. Weird cat. But it's getting kind of windy in here. Let's go inside. I gotta take care of some stuff before next renters come in. So let's go do that. So if you're familiar with any of my other videos or the channel, you guys know that this is one of my favorite rentals that I've done, partially because I hand built it myself. And it only cost me $18,000 to add on this unit, and it's actually generated way more than that in the past 2.5 years. And so during this pandemic, obviously things closed down for a bit, and I thought it was going to be the end of Airbnb. And to be honest, I had to convert a lot of our rentals inside the middle of the city to long-term or mid-term furnished rentals, which aren't as profitable, but still we're in the black, so we're doing okay. Now, I thought this one out here, being all the way out in the country and a lot smaller, was going to be difficult to rent out. But the surprising thing is that I am actually making more money during the pandemic than I was pre the pandemic. And I think there's a couple of reasons why that I'm going to get to that in a little bit later in the video, so make sure you stay tuned. But first things first, like I said, I did spend $18,000 on this rental unit, and it's been incredibly fruitful. In the beginning, I was expecting to make only about $800 to $1,000 a month. That'd be about $10,000 to $12,000 a year. It more than pay for all the taxes, all the maintenance, and everything I need to do on this property. So basically, I was living here for completely free and then making maybe a couple $100 each month. Surprisingly and luckily and fortunately, I was actually averaging about $24,000 a year or $2,000 a month. And then quite recently, it's bumped up to about 30,000. And then during the pandemic, actually, I'll put it on the screen here, we'll switch to it here in a little bit, is that I was averaging over $3,000 a month. Obviously summer months, but I've never seen that before. And September, which was actually when things tend to die down a little bit, I even reached close to $3,400 a month. But there's a caveat with that because wildfires came in, and I didn't really get to capitalize on the summer because with the COVID-19 and the pandemic going on, I thought that nobody was gonna book. So what I did was I kind of just left the calendar there, and I started that small little tiny itsy bitsy construction siding project, remodel project, whatever you want to call it, where I ripped apart the entire outside and there was just stuff all over the place. All of a sudden, my calendar's starting getting completely booked. Man, that sun is really bright. Basically, every single month I had to keep on canceling and extending it all the way through June, July, and August, which kind of sucks because that would have been like, you know, just this one property alone would have been $9,000 in revenue for those 3 months. But September came around, already booked up $3,300. However, wildfires came in, got as close as about 5 or 6 miles away. The sky was like this orangey red. I'll put a photo of what it looked like. We had to evacuate. And then that caused our September potential revenue go from $3,300 down to like $1,000, maybe like $1,500. Good news though, is that wildfires let up because the rains came in, winds shifted, all that good stuff. No longer had to evacuate, and everybody was able to be stay in their homes safely. Rents picked back up, and now I believe I'm gonna have the final number here for you on the screen, but I believe it's $2,700, which is still way better than our typical September. Long story short is that this is one of the best investments I've made to date when it comes to both long-term, short-term, or real estate in general. Equity on, I mean, if you could split up this little tiny apartment, the equity in it would be in the hundreds of thousands. You know, like I said, I spent $18,000 on it, and just in the last 3 years, let's say 3 years, it's grossed me, what is that, 24, 48, probably close to $60,000 in 3 years. Okay, and it cost me $18,000 to build. And so all in all, that's a phenomenal return, because also, as you guys all know, if you've been watching this channel, is that there is also both an intrinsic and market value for this property. And right now, if somebody was to come and buy this, they would pay way more than $18,000. They'd probably pay $100 or maybe a couple $100,000 just for this one unit, if in theory that you could cut up the whole house. But you know, quick little tour here, and I'm gonna get back to you why I believe that this Airbnb is doing so well. And if you don't like Airbnbs, you don't have to do Airbnbs, but the principle of why you invest and how to invest is the same. So just a quick little tour, I'll fold this towel later, sorry, the light's all funky, so if you guys can't see me, I apologize for the lighting in advance. And I don't have my normal microphone because I'm moving you guys all around here. We're not in the studio, so I apologize for the audio. So basically this is the studio, right? We got the kitchen, living area, you got the TV over there, and then we come this way. Obviously, they've got the gorgeous view, the big wraparound deck right here with the grill, which I need to put a cover on because it's gonna rain tomorrow. And then you come in here and you've got this nice little bedroom here with this bath right in here, master bath. So, and then you come around here, and then they got their own little private closet for when guests need to stay a little bit longer, or you know, cleaners come in and clean, which is another thing I want to talk about for all you out there. Is like, dude, Kai, what are you doing, man? It's post-COVID. What we're doing is we're taking the COVID thing super seriously, and anybody out there who's doing any type of rental should do the same as well. What we're doing is not only are we just disinfecting everything, we have a ton of disinfectants. Actually, that's a hidden door right there, that mirror. On the other side of it, I've got buckets, literally buckets and baskets full of disinfectant wipes, bleach, all that stuff. And so we fully disinfect everything. We leave a 1-day gap in between, and then we obviously wash and dry everything on high heat. And then we even have an ozone machine to go through. We take out, there's not that many plants. We take out this plant. There's another one somewhere else. Oh, right there. We take those and we put those outside while we run the ozone machine, and then we let the house air out, and then that basically is how we disinfect in between guests. I honestly think this is actually cleaner down here than it is anywhere else in the house. So getting back to the investing part and why I think that this has been so profitable as a property. For one, I was able to put a lot of sweat equity into it, but really the most profitable thing about this is what I talked about in my videos 2 years ago when I was just getting this up and going. It's probably even longer than 2 years ago, was that I said I was tired of investing in homes inside the city. The competition was just too fierce. Every person was just kind of circling around the city center and doing those ADUs or renting out apartments or leasing out apartments and then renting them out on Airbnb that you guys all probably know. And I realized at that time that I didn't like renting to large groups of people. And you guys can probably go through some of my other videos and you'll see some of the damages I've had with fire damage, breaking sinks, flooding. It's just a bunch of stuff that's just ridiculous when you rent out to large groups. And I realized my favorite types of groups were couples, newlyweds, young couples, older couples. But essentially, when people travel as a couple, they are a lot more responsible, and they're not looking to party, or they don't destroy stuff. Now, every once in a while, you get somebody really young and very immature or whatever that leave a mess or whatnot. But it's nothing that it's not like they started a fire on your deck. And so I realized that if I could tailor a place that is for couples, and to give you an idea, this place makes almost 90% as much money as my bigger places here. So 2 people here is about 90% of the revenue that I would get at a place that has 5 to 6 people. And so you get a very unique experience here that's very different than everything else that you see in the city. And at the same time, if they want to go in the city, which a lot of people don't want to do right now because everything's shut down, COVID and all that stuff, is that they can get there within like 30 minutes. So coming out here is a unique experience for couples. It's beautiful, it's quiet, and to tell you the truth is that there's not a lot of competition now. There's still competition, of course, but nowhere nearly as much as before. And we talked about this again before too in my previous videos, is that a lot of investors, they go into things and they over leverage themselves. I've talked about stocks, I've talked about personal finance, and I've talked about Airbnb investments, and I'm not gonna bore you with it, but essentially, if you have to live on the income that is being generated and you rely on that to survive, literally to survive and pay your mortgage, and if you don't get that, you lose it, it makes it very difficult to kind of weather the storm when wildfires hit, pandemics hit, travel bans hit, whatever happens, right? But if you are able to have that cushion or invest within your means, so I didn't want to invest $300,000 and go buy another piece of property. Actually, it's probably way more than that, probably $500,000, is that I had $18,000 and I had my hands. I know my hands look really rough right now because I was doing construction and then messing with chemicals, so they're all jacked up. But you essentially can print your own money, or figuratively print your own money. I spent $18,000 on this, roughly. Spent a couple years, 2 years building it out, and then now I can basically just cash checks. Actually, I don't have to cash checks. It goes straight into my bank account. So with that all said, I probably yammered on and I talked your ears off, but I know a lot of you guys have been wanting an update, so I'm giving you the update. And that is it. If you like this video, if you like the channel, if you want to learn more, then hit that subscribe button, like the video, and I will see you guys all on the other side. I love you all. Tune in on the weekend for my live stream to ask me questions. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out. Hi, Hera.